Do you ever feel like you're in the wrong place? Like, how did I get here? And what am I doing here? You're doing really well spiritually. You think that you're raising your vibration. You're getting close to God. You're talking with Him. You're praying. You're reaching out. You're living at a high frequency and a high vibration. So you're helping other people. And then you end up either thrown into some situation without any fault of your own, or it's like, how did I get here? I was listening to a man talk the other day, and he was saying that he had been in the military for years, and he was suffering from PTSD, and he ended up in trying to take his own life. And long story short, he ends up in a mental health facility. He'd never been in a hospital a day in his life before, and then he ends up in this mental health facility, and he's like, okay, Lord, how did this happen? And I know that feeling myself. It's like everything's going along fine, and then boom, there you are in this horrible situation, or something really devastating happens, and you look up and you go, really? Is this part of your plan? Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's part of God's plan. Sometimes He put you there on purpose. Most times it's either something we did, we got caught up in the flesh, we didn't forgive, we did something we shouldn't have done, whatever, and we end up in a poor situation. Or you could be under attack, somebody could have cursed you, or it could be just, the closer you get, the higher your vibration rises, you are going to be under attack. Don't believe these prosperity gospel preachers that tell you, oh, you get close to Jesus and everything's fine. You won't be sick. You won't be broke. You won't be this, that. That's not true. You're going to be attacked left and right. Now, please don't take that as a distraction or a deterrent to get close to God, because you'll have peace through it. There's nothing the enemy can do to you that's going to pull you down the closer you get. Seriously, the stronger your faith gets, you can be in any situation and you'll get through it. And you'll get through it with peace. Even devastating situations, the loss of a loved one, somebody missing, being sexually assaulted. And I'm telling you this stuff from firsthand experience. Okay, I'm not just preaching it, or from something I heard. This is firsthand stuff. I mean, I could tell you some of the stuff I've been through, but you either wouldn't believe it, or we don't have enough time. And someday I'll write a book. I'll probably have to put it out as fiction, because nobody would believe it's true. But anyway, this is what happens in the spiritual realm. So as you're getting closer and closer, there can be attacks. Or, maybe, like I said, we've kind of taken a wrong turn and we end up there. Whatever the case may be, if you find yourself in a situation and you're looking up and you're going, really? What is this all about? The first thing the enemy is going to try to do is try to talk you into either not believing in God, not believing that He's real, maybe turning back to your old ways when life was easier, or putting doubt in your head, like, you're no good, or, God's not listening to you. You can't manifest anything. Who do you think you are? That kind of stuff. It's all enemy stuff. Don't listen to it. Take every negative thought captive. Get rid of it, okay? But look at what can happen in those dry places, you know? Think about this. If God called you to be somewhere, would you go? Would you go without question? Would you go in the middle of the desert? Would you go? Sometimes we won't go. Have you ever been in a situation where you're being pulled and pulled and pulled, and you don't do it because you're fearful, and then all of a sudden it happens anyway, and it happens through a hardship? That's happened to me too. It's like, boom, being thrown into something. The universe actually throws you into it, and then you got to deal with it. So it's a good idea to walk in a high vibration and stay close to God and be obedient and do what He says, because if we do it that way, it's going to be a lot easier. But okay, so now you find yourself in this dry place and you don't know what to do. It's okay to cry. It's okay to call out to God, but you know what? Keep your faith strong, because what He's going to do is He's going to show you either somebody that's there that needs you, either needs your experience, needs your comfort, needs your knowledge, your wisdom, needs something from you. And that's okay. stay open. Even in the worst of times, stay open to whomever is brought into your path. And there's more good news, because sometimes you're there because the person that's going to help you, that's going to give you what it is that you need, whether that be financial, whether that be emotional, whether that be wisdom, knowledge, whether that be comfort, whatever the case may be, whether it be your next or I shouldn't say your next, whether it be your spouse, whether it be a best friend, whatever it may, whether it be the perfect job, whatever it may be, he may be putting you in that situation, because if not for that situation, you wouldn't have met that person. So that's what you do in the hard times, okay? And I know it can seem really hard. First of all, block out those negative thoughts. Don't allow them. And the way we do that, like I've told you before, is take every negative thought and replace it with a positive word. Even if you're not feeling positive at the time, have something on hand positive that you can just recall like that, and then say it. Speak it out loud. It'll stop that negative thought. It has to. It's the way our brains work. It'll stop it even momentarily, and then you can take it, capture it, and get rid of it. Pay attention to what's around you, because it may just be that you're there to help someone else, or someone else is there to help you, and your life is about to change. Biggest thing we can do is trust him. Now, that being said, I want to talk just quickly about soul wounds, only because I talk about soul wounds a whole lot. And I've had a couple people recently ask me, what is a soul wound? And here I am thinking, I'm doing these videos and you know what they are. So I just want to tell you really quickly what they are. We live in a physical world, but we are spiritual beings, okay? And we live in this physical body and this physical realm, but eternity is made up of the spirit realm. The spirit realm is extremely close to us. We are energy. Everything is energy. So anything, a physical illness, an emotional illness, even events, different things that happen in our life. So they start out in the spiritual realm, they come, and then we get them in our auric field, and then they manifest. If we're not healthy enough spiritually, they can manifest into wounds, physically, emotionally, within our physical bodies, okay? Sometimes we're healthy enough spiritually, and the cords, because when we meet people, or when we go through some kind of trauma or any kind of event, it could even be a small argument or whatever, cords are put out and they kind of embed themselves into your spirit, and they can create a wound. Now, if you're spiritually healthy, sometimes they don't attach. They can't stay attached, and they just go away, and you were never even the wiser. You didn't even know what happened. But if there's already a wound there, they can attach and rip open that. Or maybe if we're not in the right place spiritually, it can create a wound. Now, these can be created without our awareness. Most of the time they are. And like say, it can happen anytime from, conception until now. So we have to be careful. A lot of ways that we get them, like I said, is through interactions, through traumatic events. A big one is physical interaction, intimacy. If you have sex, you are actually picking up all the demons, all the problems, all the soul wounds of that person that you slept with, all the way up to 7, what do they call it? I can't remember, but 7 times. So 7 years and 7 people, right? So all those last 7 people, and for the last 7 years, you're picking up all the energy, all the wounds, all that kind of stuff from that other person, and your energies intermingle, and you can be picking up those soul wounds. Also, cords are put out to each other when we have a conflict, or even if we fall in love, if you're flirting with that guy in the restaurant, whatever it is, you can have these cords. And like I said, if there's already a soul wound there, if you were abused, if you've dealt with abandonment, even in utero, if maybe your parents were fighting a lot, or your mom was uncertain and really insecure, you could have picked up that soul wound. We don't know. They come from all over the place. If you're looking at soul wounds, don't judge yourself. Don't judge anybody that may have given you them. We take these on, and you know what? If we don't heal them, we end up with emotional or physical problems, because it comes into our physical body, and we either absorb it and it becomes, an emotional issue or a physical issue, or, you either implode or explode. So you can explode and fight with everybody, or it can implode and become an illness, mental or physical. And how do you get rid of them? Well, if it's a physical illness, you do have to take physical steps to get rid of it. If it's an emotional trauma, you do have to take physical steps to get rid of it. But you also have to heal that soul wound. And how do you heal that soul wound is by raising your vibration, becoming aware of it. Because what happens when you have a soul wound, I'll just use my own, for instance, it's one of unworthiness. It's a feeling of not being good enough. It's a feeling of even not being good enough for God. And this is all subconscious and soul level. It's not conscious level. You can work on something and emotionally have it down pat. You can be in therapy and get it, so now I don't have any kind of reaction with this problem or whatever it is. But yet you find that you keep attracting these same things in your life. Well, it could be because the soul wound is still there. So what happens, say, like I said, with mine, unworthiness. So what happens is if I don't keep my auric field clean, if I don't keep those wounds tended to, stitched up, healing, because they can still stay there even if you work on them and you heal them. It's kind of like if you have a broken leg and then it's healed, it's fixed, it's no longer broken, but bad weather may cause arthritis. So you may have this soul wound, it's fixed, it's healed, you're aware of it, but then something happens, you get under attack, something happens, and it kind of rips it open again. So what you do is you go back in and you heal it again. But what happens with a soul wound, and I'm sorry to keep getting off target, but so with unworthiness, so what happens, and I'm not creating this, I'm not one to blame the victim. Please don't get me wrong. I hate that when people blame the victim. I'm just talking about how God set up the universe. Like gravity is a law of physics. Well, this is like a law of energy. Okay, so you've got these soul wounds and you don't know about them. You're not aware of them. So the way that God designed things is whatever is in there, good, bad, or indifferent, we are going to vibrate at a certain level because of those things. And as we vibrate at that level, we attract to us things of that level. So if my soul wound is wide open of unworthiness, I could be going about my life really okay, and then it breaks open for whatever reason. If I'm unaware of it and I'm spiritually blinded and I'm not paying attention to this stuff, all of a sudden people keep coming into my life that are going to prove to me that I am unworthy. And it's going to create a bigger soul wound, and it's going to keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper and bigger, and it rips that scab right off. And then I'm going to feel terrible and I'm going to think, see, I am unworthy, which creates more. So what you have to do is you have to be aware of it. If you all of a sudden start feeling this way and it's a pattern and you keep doing this, be aware, okay, this could be a soul wound. You don't necessarily have to go back and figure out where it came from. You can do that later. Do the healing first. And how we do that healing is we focus on not the wound itself. We don't want to focus on the negative. We want to focus on the positive. So what we do is, first of all, pray every day. Connect with the Lord. He's the one that's in charge. Connect with him. Every day after prayer, raise your vibration. Purposely raise your vibration. So raise it, deep breaths. And I like to do it with my hand. Raise it up, up, up. And then as you breathe out, and picture protection all over you. And then when you get your heart rate low and your breathing is steady and good and you're relaxed, then you want to envision your auric field and you want to envision it. Just let spirit tell you. Show me where the wounds are. You don't have to know what they are. Show me where they are. And then just gently picture the healing light of God coming down over those wounds. And as it comes over and as it washes over them, it heals them. And physically envision the wounds being healed, closed up, stitched up, healed. And they can heal immediately. You know what? Use your faith, use your vision, heal it up. And you might have to do it a few times. It's okay. No judgment here. Heal it up. heal it up, and then deep breath and protection. Deep breath and protection. I'm loved. Nothing can hurt me in this physical world. I'm a spiritual being having a physical experience. I know that I'm loved. I know that no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay. In Jesus' name. It's really as simple as that. It's simple, not necessarily easy. If you're feeling really down and burdened and you need someone to talk to, hook up with somebody like-minded. Don't talk to someone who's going to just dwell on the negative. Even if it's because they love you, don't do that. Find some like-minded people, find some true believers with some true faith, and join together. I'm available if you don't know anybody like that. Definitely reach out to me. Just give it a shot, even if it sounds silly. All right? All right. Remember, no matter where you are, whatever's going on in your life, either you're there to meet somebody that you're there to help, or you're there to find the person that's going to help you. Because, I heard something the other day and it's so true. I really love it. Every good thing is from God. We know that. Every good gift is from God. And you know how God, most of the time, the majority of the time, gives us his gifts? He wraps them up in people. Isn't that neat? He really does. And that's absolutely true. So we've got two obligations. If a gift is given to us, take it. Don't feel like, no, 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 take it. God wants us to give, he wants us to receive. And if a gift comes through a person, whether they know it or not, it's from God. And next, be obedient. If you get a pull to help somebody, even if it seems ridiculous, do it. And when you're here, people say, "Oh, I don't hear from him. I don't get that pull." Yes, you do. If you're not, take the focus off of you for a minute. Okay? Even in hard times, good times, whatever it is, you could be celebrating and the focus is all on you. You could be upset, the focus is all on you. Every day, take a moment, step back from myself, no matter what's going on. Live in forgiveness, gratitude, and reach out to other people, because you know what? If you step outside of yourself, depression is going to ease up. It can't get to you because you're not all about you. Don't let anything offend you, because you know what? It's not all about you, like I said. And if you can open up and take the focus off you, you will get those urges. And maybe he's telling you to be obedient and you think you're going to help somebody else, but maybe that's the person that's going to help you. This is how energy works. This is how God works. So just raise that vibration, keep the frequency up, and heal those soul wounds. Allow God to heal the soul wounds. All right, you guys, take care. Have a great night. Talk to you soon.